welcome to my channel. My name is Kimberly. For those of you who don't know, this is Beauty Life Expert. If you guys didn't already know by the title, today's video I'm going to be talking about how to build strong relationships, or how strong relationships came to be. And this topic was actually brought to me by one of my good friends. I've been researching about stuff that I want to talk about on my channel, like what stuff I should bring up first, which topics I feel like need more elaborating on. And I think relationships in general, not just relationships with like a significant other, but just relationships in general are very important to talk about. And that is why I want to talk about them. And I feel like my channel, you know, with time, it grows. And, you know, I have different interests. So I want to talk about all of those interests on my channel. Overall, this is my channel. So I pretty much want to talk about a lot of different things. When talking about relationships, it can be very repetitive about what the foundation of a strong relationship can be, because a lot of people have different types of relationships. Not everyone is going to be in the same type of monogamous relationship. Some relationships are open relationships, some relationships are on and off again, and it's just, you know, different for everybody. Not everyone's relationship is the same. I can have a relationship with someone and be a certain type of person, whereas I have a relationship with someone else, and it's not that you're not being true to yourself, but some people bring out certain qualities in you out, if that makes more sense. If I can break that down a little bit, just a little bit more. So when I talk about relationships, like in general, I'm very broad in what I talk about. I don't talk about specific things because maybe those things wouldn't work for you particularly. So that's why I'm here. And I was talking about this with one of my good friends, and I'm just like, what do you define a strong relationship? And me and him have different like opinions, and I was just like, you know what? This is the stuff that me and you both agree on. So this is the stuff that I want to talk about in my video. So the first thing that I want to talk about is communication. And I know that sounds so like repetitive and so like duh, but a lot of people kind of miss this point. This is very, very important. Having an open communication with your significant other, or, you know, just anybody in general, with coworkers, with your mom, with your parent, your parents, your children, just anybody, your siblings. Communication is always such a key factor. Not just, talking about, not just daily communication, like, hey, how was your day? Not just that, but like communicating how you feel about a certain person, communicating how certain things make you feel, communicating about the things you like, communicating about the things you don't like. Those things all play a very important role when you talk, when you're building a strong relationship with someone, because maybe we'll find out that I want kids and I want marriage, and maybe you don't, and that's something that needs to happen early in the relationship. And I mentioned this a little bit in my open relationship video, where I talked about relationships and stuff like that. I talked about communication. Communicate what stuff you consider cheating, what stuff you don't consider cheating. And if you guys could just nip that all in the butt in the beginning of the relationship, you would see that a strong, healthy relationship will build better over time. So you'll notice that because you guys discuss these things in the beginning of the relationship, once you get to like 3 years in, 4 years in, you're not hit with these surprises that can sometimes end that strong relationship that you work so hard to build. Because let's be honest, you guys, relationships are not easy. Really good relationships take time, take energy, take trial and error. And those are just things that you have to be ready for when you're entering a relationship. And I know you guys are probably you guys have seen the history of my video. You guys have seen, you guys have probably heard about some stuff that I talked about in the past, where I'm just like anti-relationship, anti-commitment and stuff like that. But that's because I've learned who I am, and I've learned what things work in relationships, what things don't work, what works for me personally, what works for other people. And it's just trial and error, like I've said before. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is time. And not just, spending time together, although that is my next one, but time in general. You're not going to be in a relationship on Monday and by Wednesday have this strong foundation of a relationship. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's, more unlikely, because you need to, time is very important. Time is also something great for healing. Things happen over time. Who you are at the beginning of the relationship is not usually who you are towards the end of the relationship. And that's just what happens. You know, relationships fail. Some relationships don't, and that's just life. You know, things do happen, and time overall is very important. You know, you need time to just, you know, heal any problems that you guys have had in the past. You need time to, you know, grow as a person, things to develop. Your life needs to develop on its own, if that makes any sense. Besides, you know, just besides you and this person developing a relationship, you need to develop yourself, and the only way you can develop yourself is with time. I've seen a lot of relationships end because people have done stuff so quickly and just didn't give themselves some time. Obviously, you know, sometimes I've heard in the past, you know, you're like 40 years old and you're like, you know, this is it, like I need to find someone now. And when they find someone, they quickly, you know, move in together, quickly do everything together because they feel like their time is running out. And that's bullshit. Your time is never running out. Of course, you know, if you want to have children, it is easier to do when you're younger and stuff like that. But just don't think of it that way is what I'm trying to say. You know, relationships do take time, and building a strong foundation doesn't happen overnight is basically what I'm trying to say in a shorter amount of words. The next thing is spending time together, bonding. I think that is also a very strong foundation for building a strong relationship. Basically, you need to learn who this person is, and you're not gonna know who this person is if you're not spending time with this person. I've seen relationships that'll last 10 years and they only see each other like once a week, and then their relationship just ends for something that, you know, seems minor to us, but to them it might have been like a complete deal breaker that could have been solved had this stuff been talked about at the beginning of the relationship. So those are the kind of things that I'm talking about when you're spending time together. You know, of course your schedule is hectic and you don't always want to make that person your end all be all, but they do deserve some type of priority in your life, just because they are, you know, maybe you want to spend the rest of your life with this person. And I know there's this thing like, oh, men ain't shit, but like at the end of the day, do you care? They are people, you know, they have feelings, they have emotions, and just because your relationship started, you know, a little bit rocky, maybe you guys started, you know, messing around first, maybe he was just like your side piece or whatever, maybe, you know, now that you guys have more time invested, you are developing these feelings for this person, and the way that you guys have handled your relationship did not change. That is also something that's important in the communication factor. Before you jump into relationships with people, you want to make sure that you guys are both on the same page. You want to discuss, do you want to have children? Do you want to get married? Do you, like, is this something that you see in your future? What do you want out of this relationship? That goes back to communication. Sorry to, like, you know, confuse you guys a little bit, but when I talk about bonding with someone, bonding is important. You want to see how they treat their family. You want to see how they treat your waiters, your waitresses. You want to see if you go to a bookstore together. You want to go to a bookstore together. You want to see what kind of books they're into, what kind of stuff broadens their interest. When you're deciding to be in a relationship with someone, you're deciding to give this person some of your time, and time is valuable, and bonding is very important for a relationship. Yes, you can spend one day out of the week with this person, but if you're not spending a lot of time with this person, overall you're gonna see this relationship fail, because you're gonna find something out in the future that you could have found out at the beginning of the relationship. And I feel like your first 2-3 years is a time that you take to learn about a person. After those 2 to 3 years, you should already know who this person is. Of course, you never genuinely know who someone is, because, you know, sometimes you spend however old you are. I spent 23 years of my life with myself, and I'm discovering things about myself. I'm still learning new things, but that just doesn't mean that. I'm just trying to emphasize the fact that spending time with someone in a relationship is very important to help build a strong relationship, because you guys need to do stuff together. Maybe this person doesn't like certain food that you you know, it's like a huge deal breaker for you. That's just the way that relationships work, and it's just the way that things are. And you need to like find out before you get into a relationship with someone, what qualities are you looking for? And if you don't spend time with this person, you'll never see if they meet those qualities. And I think those are just 3 things I really wanted to touch base on with you guys, just, you know, on how to build like a strong relationship. I think those 3 things are very, very important. So I hope you guys, you know, take this advice as like a guide. Like, don't just follow this very strictly. Of course, I don't think you would, but it, you know, just in the event that you do, just keep that in mind. I know a lot of people probably like, why would I take advice from someone who's always single? And it's just because I've learned, I've studied this stuff, I love this stuff, this is like what I like to do, and I think this is where my channel is heading towards. So if you guys like more videos like this, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. I also do have some social media that I'll leave down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.